Okay, welcome everybody. So great, so great to see you. And thanks for braving the weather to come out. This meeting is your meeting. So we have the agenda tonight is going to kind of look like this. We'll open with some prayer. We have a sheriff's chaplain here. That'd be great, or a pastor. Otherwise, you're stuck with me. Come on up if that's you. And then we're going to go through government updates, and then we'll go through organizational updates. So we'll hear from the county, Salvation Army, and then we'll hear from West Plains Chamber. They have some fun things to share. And then we'll get to a little bit of fun stuff. We have a quilt raffle and then some gift card raffles. So all that just saying again, you know, just to let you know, we're in it together. And this is our final meeting for the year, but this is not our final meeting. So we will continue to have these as long as people need us to be here and plugging on, right? So let's go ahead and get started so we can get out of here on time. Thank you again for coming. Lord, we just opened this meeting. We ask you to be here with us. This is the season of tidings of great joy and peace. And I pray, Lord, for our community, everybody affected by the Gray Road fire, that they this season would feel that great joy and peace. Take us through this winter, Lord, keep people safe. Help us to reach out to one another and to know what our neighbor needs so that nobody goes with the need unmet. And we just thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, friends. So we'll get right to the business of it. I wanted to hear, let me get my notes so I don't miss anything because I do that often. Spokane County Assessor Tom Konis is here. We talked last time, you remember the last meeting, Al French was here, and we talked Monty from the building, permitting a building. We talked a little bit about that. But Tom is going to give us an update on property tax rebates, let you know what to expect or what should have happened. But I'll let him speak to that because if I say any more, I'll get it wrong. But let's welcome Tom Konis. Thank you. This is the magic spot.
This is the magic spot where I won't get feedback and, oh, that too. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all for having me here. It's gotta be hard on you. I'm a Cheney boy. I graduated in 75. We are, believe me, all medically strong. So our office has processed the initial wave of tax reductions that we did. And we were able to do that by state law, clear back to the August 18th start of the fire, irregardless of if it burned the next day or the day after. We didn't care. 18th was our day. We used emergency management's help. Also, the Red Cross helped us with providing us lists of properties that they knew that had been destroyed. We have an aerial imaging company that comes in and does our images every 2 years, kind of like Google, you know. They have a program that we paid for, which was an emergency flyover. So 2 weeks later, as soon as the airspace was opened up over both fires, they were out here on a Saturday over the holiday weekend. That was the holiday weekend. They were here, they flew them on Saturday. We had the first images Tuesday morning. My staff processed 781 total tax reductions due to fires. Normally we do about 50 or 60 a year, just a normal little house fire or something in town or something. So it worked out really well for us as far as timing wise. Sorry, it didn't work out for you. I can't imagine. I was talking to Cassandra earlier. It's like, there are so many times where I've said, man, this is the worst day of my life. And yet you guys have like, hold my beer. I'll show you what the worst day looks like. And you guys have lived through that. I can't imagine. I feel so sorry for all of you. I really do. So anyway, we did this processing. We sent out, worked with the treasurer's office. We have, hopefully you've all received amended tax statements for the first half of this year. And if you were due a refund, those have been sent to you or your mortgage company. If you had an escrow, that's where they went to probably. We did all of this within 6 weeks from the start of the fire. I have 42 employees. I mean, they worked their tails off. They really did. We had everyone in the office touch some point of this process. And this part of it, and I've got a second thing I'm gonna talk about, so we're gonna keep these separate because I didn't do a real good job of that last week. This part of it, any improvement, any personal property account that you had that we have a dollar amount with, commercial properties, all of that could be taken off. And if we could tell by either the Red Cross, by both the Red Cross list that we had, the emergency management list, and the aerial images, that it was 100% destroyed, we took 100% of it off. If we felt, this is where it turned into the appraisal opinion, that the fire got close enough that it caused smoke damage, embers maybe burned your shingles on your roof, the siding that melted, things to that effect, we took 50% of those values all off. Just period. We tried, we're not making it easy on you, but we tried to do the best job we could. And believe me, that was what my staff tried to do. We truly did. We had, it took one meeting to convince them that this is what we had to do. And they were all 100% on board. Okay, so, this is the way government's supposed to work, right? Come on. Because typically you had to fill that form out, send it to us and tell us your house was destroyed and all of that. It's like, no, we just moved on from that. Again, we can only do in my office what we're allowed to do by state law. So you've noticed, and I guess two things. Number one, if you find out that one of your neighbors or friends that had some destruction did not receive that, please have them get a hold of us. Make sure that we got all of it. Again, I didn't want my people driving all the streets and roads and, you know, especially up around Elk and all the trees and whatnot. We tried to do it and be in your way because I know it's busy. We want to stay out of your way. We wanted to get it done the most efficient way we could. We felt that was through the list and the aerial imaging that we had. The other thing is by law, again, I can't change the land value at this point. The improvements are easy. We know how much the dollar amount of those are. The land value, we will not know until we see sales. But yet we still can, if even 3 years from now, we see that the land was impacted, the values dropped, we can come back and change them, and we will, I promise you we will. So the next thing, so that's the end of that one. The other one is the 3-year tax exemption that we have on your new construction. So when you rebuild, please get a hold of us first. I have taken the forms to your building department here in Medical Aid. The forms that the county has the forms for that. I will provide some to the Salvation Army too, because I know they're out here. We need to come see the property before you start rebuilding. We have to have a record of what it looked like when it started. But we can get you a tax abatement for 3 years on that property after you rebuild, up to the amount that we reduced your value because of the initial fire. So it's a huge deal because what we did last year from the 18th on will also carry through to next year, and then we can get you 3 additional years of tax savings in that. Okay? Questions from anyone? Sir?
Do pictures work for that?
Excuse me?
Do pictures work if you've already started the rebuild?
If you've only barely started, absolutely. We get a hold of your appraiser. And you can find out who your appraiser is, folks, by looking at Spokane Scout, which is our website. You can enter into that your address or your parcel number. And on the, I believe it's the second tab, it shows who your appraiser is and a way to contact them right in there.
Didn't you already say you had pictures of our existing structures for that?
We have aerial pictures, but I don't, the state will not allow us to use those for this purpose.
Can you use it for them?
We use them to reduce your value. We use them to take the values off. Because we could prove that the building was gone.
So you have to come back out.
We do. I'm sorry about that. No, you don't have, just give us a call. There's no more paperwork to do. There's the form that you have to fill out to get the 3-year abatement. Yeah. Again,
Explain that 3-year abatement again.
yeah,
So if we were valued at, you know, our property value of one thing and then the structure for another, right?
right,
Before fire.
right. So say if your improvements were valued at 200,000. We took 200,000 off of that because of the fire. You build your property now, it's gonna cost you 400,000. But we will take 200,000 of it and abate those taxes for 3 years. That make sense? I mean,
So is
as
that-
much as the legislature can make sense to us, but yes,
If we have a building permit and we get a final building permit, we're still gonna get reduced taxes for a total of 3 years.
right, as long as you go through with this form in the program and let us know, yeah,
Through final inspection.
after final inspection,
After
3
final
years,
inspection.
yes, 3 years. After completion. Okay,
So I guess we're wondering why, our values, we've seen values increase catastrophically.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
right,
The state law is like it can't go up more than 1%.
no, there is no state law for that.
There is-
The budgets of the different taxing districts without a vote of the people can only go up 1%.
so-
We are required by state law and the state constitution to be at 100% of market value.
So it doesn't matter, so in
No.
18 months, our value on our land went from
Mm-hmm.
221,000 to 323,000.
Mhm.
How big of a radius do you pull that from?
It would depend on the amount of sales within that area. I mean,
How big
I
is
have-
your-
I have-
how big is your area?
I have $250,000 parcels that we do. I'm sorry, I couldn't
We're
really.
talking about-
If you wanna have a meeting with our office and we can talk about your specific parcel, I'd be more than willing to do that.
So you're always trying to put us off to come to your office, that kind of thing. You're here to answer questions tonight. So how big is the radius that you go to place a value on things?
Spokane County,
The whole Spokane County?
well,
No, that's completely arbitrary, sorry, sir,
yeah,
but we're on the west side, and when you're looking at. You know, comparing us against Liberty Lake, or, you know, a bunch of doctors' houses up here, Deer Park, there's.
Can I
no,
speak to this for a second?
sure.
So we have a really full agenda tonight and I want to answer all of your specific questions. So Spokane County Assessor's Office, they assess taxes or values for the entire county. Taxes are placed on the value. We've all seen those go through the roof and it's frustrating.
Look, we've been down
Yeah.
to the assessor's office, and we don't get these answers in front of the assessor. So now we have.
He's here for the evening to answer all of these questions. And if you find that you don't get the answer you want, you know, let's come back around and have another meeting. I'm happy to join in on those and advocate however you need me to, but let's take it. There's other people who have questions. I'd like to get those answered and maybe it will help answer your question too. But I want you to ask specific to a problem or a process, and then we can get to those larger questions individually. It would help us to move along, but I do appreciate you being here.
Sir, I believe you had your hand up first.
Thanks for coming. Does it matter how far in advance before building, we get a hold of you guys for?
No, if you're not gonna build for 6 months, that would be fine. At least if we saw that, you know, the property's ready to go, yeah, we're good.
Appreciate it.
Great, thank you. Ma'am, you had a question back there.
I'm probably asking the same question.
That's all right.
So I put in that form
Hmm.
in your office, because we're starting to apply new forms. So now we do need to call someone, correct?
If you turn that form into us, no. And we have a number of those already with us. We have a number of them, of folks who have started the permit process. They have a permit and the form. We have a whole separate folder going. We're trying to keep track of that.
So we're fine.
You should be fine. I mean, without knowing your specific parcel, but, and we will as we progress here, probably right after the first of the year, we will double check that list. Any permits that we have, we do not have the form filled out on, we will contact those owners too. Just to have them fill out the form.
We don't have to do the appraisal.
At this point in time, you don't have to do a thing, that will be on my appraisers to get out there. Okay? I don't even know whose hand up was first. Yes, sir.
Maybe possible to get traveling light, because if we have people in front of us asking questions, we
Can't hear the question. Okay, I will try to repeat the question. I really am bad at that, but I will try. Absolutely, sir. Ma'am,
I just want to know if this information is being sent out to us, as the forms or whatever we need.
so the question was, were the forms sent out to you? And I believe those should have been sent in the value reduction form that you were sent in the mail. No?
I don't think we got it.
Okay.
We were on.
Okay, then that was what I was told, that they were going out with that, with the treasurer's statements, so I will double check. I can sure double check on that, and if not, we have our list, we can sure send them out again, that's not a problem. Sir,
So the final thing is, if we have our land cleared already, and we're looking at architects and contractors, we can call in, ask us right now and get that taken care of. Right?
yeah, we need to get started, for this, on this form, it asks for the permit number. So at some point in time, we'll have to contact you to get that permit number, even if you haven't taken it out now. But at least it would be good, it would behoove you to get the form filled out, have it sitting in our office, we at least get the process started.
This is the land, come out before you go. So we get call right now and get that taken care of. You're going to get the permit and everything.
Absolutely, let's get it started. Why not? Huh? That was, I told you I was bad at that. Dude, can we fill out the form now? Yes, we can fill the form out now. Name in the plat here. Yes,
If you do not build, the reduction is for the first year, we still get the reduction? If we do not build,
if nothing is done with the property, that value, subject to market value changes, would stay there. Yes, there would not be any improvements put on there. Does that make sense? So it would be just the land value. If the land values change, that would change. Okay? Oh, straight ahead, sir. Mr. Coogan.
I just want to clarify a little bit, so you're saying that we need to get a hold of you for a rebuild, right? But if some of us decide, hey, we're not gonna rebuild, we're just gonna bring in a manufactured home, we still have to get hold.
If you want the 3-year tax abatement, yes, you do have to get a hold of us. It doesn't have to be a stick build. It's just you're replacing those improvements that were on that property when the fire happened. Okay, so does that make sense? So his question was, if it's not necessarily a stick build, if it's a manufactured house, do you still need to fill out that form? And yes, you do, to get the tax abatement. Okay? Where, oh, yes. Unfortunately, does it include shops, outbuildings, things of that effect? No, unfortunately, the law is real specific that it's for single family homes only. And actually, this whole law, we're kind of breaking ground out here. This is the first time, it only passed in 2021. So we are the first county in Washington State to even implement this law. So I've been talking to the Department of Revenue, believe me, a lot on this one. Okay? If you were being taxed for a shop that is now gone, there should be zero value there now. Okay? Is there? Okay.
It is.
So your house was partially destroyed, but your shop was totally destroyed. Boy, that would be one. If I were you, I would get a hold of the appraiser and just make sure that we've done it right. And I, believe me, I'm not saying that we did these all right. We did these as efficiently, as fast, as we could to help you guys as best we could. I mean, that was our whole intent the whole time. So if we miss something like that, yeah, I absolutely get a hold of the appraiser. We're more than willing to fix it. Again, if I can make everybody's value 0, I would have done that. I'm stuck by the law of what I can do. So, okay.
Thank you. One question I have is, yeah, it was there and now it's gone. So if they have a question, say they don't agree with this first brush, if you will, so is that an appeal process? And so call the appraiser and say, I'd like to appeal that. And so I think that's the official term they use.
That's exactly correct. And on your notice, it should tell you that you have 30 days to appeal this value. You have to appeal it to the Board of Equalization. That's not our office. That's a whole separate entity in the county than us. I have no authority over them at all. So that's who you would appeal any value discrepancies to. Okay, and the nice thing about that is, if you don't appeal it within 30 days and you disagree with our value, I can't change it after that point in time. I mean, we're setting levies for next year based on those numbers. But if you've got an appeal, we have an open-ended until the Board of Equalization holds a hearing that we can work together to come up with a new value. So it really is an ideal situation. But yeah, let's make sure that we get them correct. And for you too, I've got one in the back. It's got her hand. Yeah.
Are 30 days up already?
That was my question. What started?
The 30 days is when you got your notice. Is that up now? Okay.
Months, yeah. Several months.
Excuse me, sir, but also, if you can factor that many of us lost our homes, so when they receive the mail service, or you get through to wherever the mail went to, that should be.
I was just heading into that part. That's a great idea. You're right. The mail is an issue, and especially out here, it's very justifiable that you did not get your mail in a timely manner. Contact the Board of Equalization many, many times. I've been with the county 30 years. Many times. They are receptive to, I did not get the information. I was out of the country. I did not receive that mail from the mailman. They will open up your appeal window again and give you that opportunity.
Just tell them burn down.
You could tell them that too, and your mailbox burned down. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Tom, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And,
I will stick around.
he's gonna stick around and we want to make sure we get, everybody's questions answered that would be helpful to your, restoration work. That's the goal of this. So we have, I want to hear from the county, drink your water. Chandra Fox from Spokane Emergency Management. She is, where the funding that comes from the state that was released, we've talked a lot about that. Again, speed of government, but we're thankful, the cogs are moving oh so slowly, but they are moving. So I'm gonna have Chandra give you that update. Thank you.
Hey, you bet. So good evening, everybody. So just to kind of give you an overview of where we are right now and what we've received so far. So I think everybody's aware of the original 1.25 million that we received in individual assistance from the Governor's Emergency Fund. Those funds are being utilized for your disaster case managers. They're being utilized for support of asbestos testing, and a big chunk of those funds went to the winterization projects for the RVs. So that's a lot of where that funding is going. We still have some of that funding left, and we'll be working with the long-term recovery group on where those funds go from there. So we have just within the I guess it was signed yesterday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, Tuesday. The BOCC signed the contract
What's
with
BOCC?
Sorry, Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you.
So they signed the contract with the state for our additional 3.5 million, which is specifically addressing asbestos abatement and debris removal. Now, as a reminder, because this funding is coming to us from the state, it has really strict parameters. And so the first priority for the state funding are those of you who are uninsured and don't have the resources to deal with your asbestos abatement and your debris clearance. So our disaster reservists who were here with us for several months, I'm sure you spoke to them, either Raphael or Bon. And they did the first vetting of the list of folks who were eligible for that uninsured debris removal support. Those names have been provided to our debris contractors. We currently have 3 companies that we're contracting with, and the debris contractors will be contacting the property owners directly, because before they can come out and do the work on your property, they need to work with you to get a right of entry form, which allows them to come onto your property and do the work. And then also confirm with you what your asbestos testing results were. If you did not, for some reason, have your asbestos testing done, we're working on the assumption that there's asbestos there and it'll be abated as if it were. Finally, we still do not have an answer on our request for FEMA assistance. I was hoping to have it before the end of the year. We still have 3 weeks left, so we may have an answer on that hopefully soon. What I'm being told is the reason it's taking so long is because the president wants to get to yes. Their preference is to be able to help. So they're looking for ways that they can get us to a yes on that federal assistance. What that means is if we do get a yes on that, it'll be up to FEMA headquarters to determine how much assistance we would be getting and in what forms it would be taking. So whether that would be additional individual assistance for folks, or whether that would be additional funding for more debris clearance. I don't know yet. I won't know until we get a firm answer on that. And I think.
And there was a
That's
second
everything.
batch of money, the second round, there was a IGA being.
Yeah, that's the 3.5 million that just got
I
signed.
didn't hear you say.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our second round of funding
And that's for debris removal.
for debris removal. Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Any questions?
question on that?
Sure.
So we live in a small neighborhood, we got 40 lots, basically. We have no public roads. We have our own septic system. A community septic system. Do you think that our neighborhood would be eligible for FEMA funds to help rebuild that stuff? We've had to do assessments to all of our neighbors for a septic rebuild. We know that our roads are being, trashed by. Yeah, heavy equipment, including, Avista that's come in and run their machines over our roads and done that kind of thing. So are we eligible for those funds, do you think? Can we petition?
So the question is
I mean, where are
a
those FEMA funds gonna be?
small neighborhood with private roads, private utilities going to be eligible for federal funding? I don't have an answer to that until we
Who's gonna
understand.
receive those funds then?
I don't like to say that it is uninsured, that septic system is uninsured.
Right.
Did not have insurance on it.
Yeah, and I understand that. And it would fall under the individual assistance program. And so I won't know until they make a decision at headquarters.
I just didn't know if the funds are gonna be distributed by a city government, a county government, or just, how those FEMA funds would be distributed and who would.
So when we talk about federal assistance, there's multiple departments and multiple agencies that provide that assistance. And the way the funds are dispersed and the way the funds are allocated depends entirely upon which federal agency is providing the funding. So my recommendation is to help that process, make sure you're in touch and you've got a file going with the disaster case manager. Because that helps us to understand what everybody's situation is.
So we apply our situation, we put like an application or.
I can't answer that question until we know what the funding is. And if we get the funding,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's a big
You
if,
can't even.
so, yeah, so, yeah.
So how do you determine, like, okay, in my case, I'm a caretaker for 5 acres, I have all my stuff in the middle of this 5 acres. That we lived in and all that. And we were uninsured, but I had 10 days, because the lady that owned the property I heard her lawyers. Give me a letter, give me 10 days to get the place cleaned up there, sue me. So I had to clean up the whole place, how do you guys determine who gets the money, when they get the money, what, I mean. When
So-
all this first happened, all this money.
I
everybody
can't.
here, and everybody's saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and now you're saying there's no money or nothing for nobody, basically, it's for cleanup. And a
So
lot of
that,
people have cleanup insurance.
so again, for specific needs, I need you to get with your disaster case manager, because your disaster case manager will help you identify what resources and what programs are available for your specific situation. And everybody in here has a different situation. And so your situation is going to determine what it is you're eligible for. And some of our disaster case managers are right there. So get with them afterwards.
They're gonna.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
You said that, the money was for the uninsured, but then you made the comment about signing up with our disaster case managers. So is there the disaster case managers for the insured and also the uninsured?
Yes, the
And then-
disaster, everybody who was impacted by the fire should have a disaster case manager.
And are you guys gonna go through the process of how?
Eventually.
No, so the question is, are they gonna go through the process of how people, because that's been the question behind.
So they're coming up, so they can talk to their stuff.
Perfect.
Yes,
We've never heard of a case manager before, as far as I know.
We'll get to that
Okay.
here in just a
Yeah.
second.
so they'll talk in just a minute. Anything else for me before I get down?
County or state money.
Okay,
What if you've already removed all the debris? Yeah,
then you've removed your debris.
It's okay.
but I
So-
didn't have money to pay for it, so I took it out of, some insurance money, so.
Yeah.
Will I
Yep.
qualify for something later to get back for that?
It depends. It depends. So, Okay.
So basically, everybody that like maybe had insurance, or whatever, and did all that, maybe that insurance, and that stuff went out of our pocket. What you guys are getting 3.5 on cleanup. Those of us that had insurance, we're gonna basically be able to get stuff then.
well, I wouldn't put it in those terms, but the restrictions that I have on our state money is the priority for the money coming from the state is the people who are uninsured.
First.
So get started.
I'll take that. So thank you, Chandra, so much. It's helpful and remember, this is informational. We want to give you information that will help you move forward to your next steps. So I'm gonna reiterate one thing, and that is, we don't have a FEMA answer. We're just as likely to get a no as we are a yes, and even if it is a yes, the average payout is very small. Don't hang your hat on FEMA. It's might be a little bit of help. It's not gonna solve your world problem, honestly. And then, my heart goes out to those of you in the middle that are underinsured. I think that's most people in this room. So we understand that, but the legal requirement is that those funds we use for people who have no insurance. And then those of you who are insured at whatever level, you need to register, like we said, and you filled out all those forms at the beginning, and if you've never filled out a form, we need you to. And then, that is something we've been asking, and yes, everybody will, be assigned, to the Salvation Army is who the contract is with, and a case will be developed. They're not gonna reach out to you yet if you were insured. Right now, they're just starting their work, and they're gonna speak to that. Now I'm gonna have the Salvation Army come up and tell you the work started, say, oh, no one contacted me, I don't have a case manager. You don't. They've just begun. The contract's only been signed recently, and I'm sorry about that, but, again, oh, so slow, here we go, but, Salvation Army will tell you what they're doing and, how you can contact them and, what you can expect in this community. So this is Andrea Reedy, Salvation Army.
Hi. I'm the Director of Business and Operations with the Salvation Army. My case managers are actually over here. I have Bill and Alasia. I have flyers, so if any of you don't know the phone numbers, which it sounds like lots don't, we have lots of flyers and business cards. All you have to do is call them. They'll set up a time to meet with you to get your file started. They'll ask you probably questions you've answered before, but the hope is that you tell them your story and then they go and they advocate for you so that you don't have to continue to tell your story. If you are insured or underinsured, you can still call them. They'll still talk to you. They'll talk to everybody. They'll start getting cases open for all of you. And then as funding priorities change, then we're able to help with more stuff. So if you have needs, it's really good to let them know because then you'll be in their mind. And if they hear funding that comes up, they're gonna give you a call. They're gonna ask you for, well, some of it is like, estimates, stuff like that to get work done. They have lots of fun calling people all day long. Do you have questions for me?
Are the meetings in person or over the phone?
Both, so they can do either.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat the question, please?
Are the meetings
Oh,
in
sorry.
person or over the phone?
Yep.
What I was trying to figure out, we've been filling out forms for quite a long time, we started with Red Cross. So are the forms we filled out at Red Cross transferred to you?
So we do, so the question is, were the forms you filled out from the Red Cross transferred to us? We do have a lot of the forms from, the Red Cross have been sent to us, and then I think that's it from this community.
Don't we have also emergency management?
So there may be some forms that you have to fill out, but we try not to duplicate information. So there may be questions that we have that you haven't been asked yet. So there is some questions you will have to answer. But you shouldn't have to answer them multiple times for us either. Once we get it, we have your file started.
Because we were told we were on the caseworker or something like that, on the Red Cross as well. Otherwise, we've been able to-
Yeah. Well, hopefully we will be the last case manager or caseworker you have. They should be.
Thank you.
It's good. Thank you. Thank you. And so Chandra, I just wanted to follow up just because I'm also president of long-term recovery group that we're standing up so that we can have this long-term process to help everybody to your questions, sir. The information that was filled out, so they filled out forms with Medical Aid, they filled out forms and ILK, they filled out forms with Emergency Management Spokane, they filled out forms with asking for grant money from local charity, that sort of thing. So if you filled out the form with case management through the county or through the city of Medical Aid, and then also the state sort of FEMA assessors, but they're not FEMA, but that's the kind of work, they use their parameters so that we can queue everything up that way. But the state disaster management folks, if you filled out a form or were talked to by any of those people, all of that data has gone to the Salvation Army. So if you wonder, do they have my name? I believe they can contact you, right? Or you want them to contact Salvation Army? Is it best to contact county and see if they're on the list?
So, no,
No.
best thing for people to do is get a case manager.
Yeah, so call Salvation Army. They have flyers here tonight and they can tell you if they know you exist, and if they don't have you on their list, it sounds like they can add you and begin that casework for you. The other thing that's important to understand is the case manager is looking at how you were situated before, what your situation is now, how you were insured, how you're financially situated, and then what are the gaps. And so your case is about how restoring how do we get you closer to where you were? Not that there's gonna be full restoration. You know, if we took all the money we had right now and divided it up, it'd be a couple $1,000. So it's, you know, so we have to all work together and realize that's how that works. So, I'm not even gonna ask you to be patient again, sorry. So thank you so much, and thank you to Salvation Army. They're also here after, and there's flyers, and be sure that you can reach out to them by phone or coming. They are gonna be in Medical Aid. In the Cornerstone building, they're around the corner from Farm Salvation. They're on Lake Street. And what are your days and hours right now? Do you have that set? Monday through Thursday, 9:30.
Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 3:30, 107 West Lake Street. So grab the flyer, give them a call, or go in.
and have that face-to-face. They're here for you, okay? So you talked about where did the money go? That was paid for by that initial funding. So that's a service to you that's been paid for and they can help you. The next, I would like to invite up Molly Sanchez with Innovia. She'll give you an update on what's happening with Innovia. And then we'll talk more about how this is for long-term recovery so that we can understand better. But thank you, Molly. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, so, we at Innovia, have, been in the position to be able to, accept donations on behalf of some corporations and a lot of, generous individual donors who want to support fire recovery. The dollars from Innovia are, intended to support both the short-term immediate relief efforts as well as the longer-term recovery. So really the work that we're doing now in conjunction with the long-term recovery group, the Salvation Army case management, and the long-term recovery group is to make sure that those dollars are getting out to people who need them now, as well as being available in the longer term to meet, what are called unmet needs through an unmet needs roundtable. So we've had about $175,000 that's been distributed to date. Those dollars primarily have gone to the nonprofit organizations in both communities of Elk and Medical Lake that are the boots on the ground, working with you all, making sure that those immediate needs are met and people are able to, be safe and sheltered and housed for the short term while we work toward the long term. So those have been things like gas cards, helping with purchase propane, any assistance with food. Salvation Army received some funding and they were able to provide hotel lodging for folks who were in precarious situations when the temperatures first started to drop. Some of the funding went to the hazard tree removal project here in Medical Lake. So anybody that had trees removed as a result of that was assisted with those dollars. So that's where we're at and continuing to meet those needs, primarily working through, again, the nonprofits here. And then we are working in partnership with the case managers. So that's, I will just reiterate that process of reaching out, getting an open case with a case manager, whether you are insured, not insured, anybody who is impacted as a result of the fires has access to their case manager. Those case managers then work on a long-term recovery plan for each household. So as Terry said, every individual has their own specific circumstances that need to be addressed. So that recovery plan is key to then being able to identify all of the resources that are out there, what you can access, and then looking at what are still those gaps that need to be met. And then those are the requests that come through the case manager to the Unmet Needs Roundtable, which has Innovia funding. It also has funding from many other charitable entities who have been waiting to participate in the long-term recovery process. So I really just want to emphasize that dollars are flowing out for the short term. They're also being leveraged and braided with other funding for the longer term. And I think the other piece to keep in mind is we want to be equitable with the funding. We know there are people who right now are saying, you know what, we're good. There are people who need funding more than we do. But experience tells us those people maybe 2 years down the road are going to come back and say, you know what, I'm not as full as I thought I was going to make myself. And we have a need yet that still has not been met. Case managers are still going to be working with those cases. The Unmet Needs Roundtable is still going to be addressing those cases and providing the funding and the dollars to do that. So we just really want to emphasize that we appreciate again, Terry said the patience, but understanding that this is long-term. We know there are immediate needs. We're working our best along in partnership with others, with the county as well. I think that's another piece. Some dollars are time limited. We know the county dollars have to be spent within a year. So case managers know that, and that's what they're going to make sure that the dollars that have limitations and restrictions get distributed and used as they need to be. And then we can use the flexible dollars to fill in the gaps and the unmet needs, both now and into the future.
I have a question from online. They're asking if the money from donations is also restricted to uninsured folks first.
No, there are no specific restrictions that they have to be uninsured folks first.
The question was, what's the question?
Is there a number for people to call just to kind of to get in process and get going with that to access? Calling the case manager through Salvation Army, so getting a hold of one of them and the flyers, that's gonna be the point of entry.
They have a flyer with them tonight, huh?
I have business cards that I can give to anyone who's looking for help.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that?
So there's business cards and flyers, phone numbers, all the contact information is available from the folks here. Yep.
And we need case manager, are we required to provide our annual income? Is that a requirement that we have to provide in order to have?
So.
Requirement we- but they don't provide it.
Okay, so the question was is income, proof of income, a requirement, and the response is, I'll be the go-between, is it's not a requirement. It will be asked, but it's not a requirement.
Will the case still be open if you do not provide?
Will a case still be opened if that's not provided?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. So the question was about the hazard tree removal. If you weren't part of that what's happened already, are there dollars accessible?
I can speak to that just a little bit. So the first round hazard tree removal, volunteer effort, 164 people signed up for help. And so about 85 of those, we went to the most densely populated areas first and then worked our way out. And then we exhausted all of the dollars from the donors of businesses and heavy equipment operators and weekend volunteers and now the weather. So, but there will be another effort early in the spring. So we're going to take another, we still have you on the list if you signed up. So more help is coming, I guess. But that's volunteer. There is no, promise, but yeah. So, I can't really hear you very well.
So basically, they said they wouldn't even cut our trees down. They said it was tactical. They said they'll bring it up, and they're on a hill.
So correct. So this is true. So these were volunteers, with their,
I volunteered.
okay, thank you. Uh-huh. Okay. There were a lot of in between things that happened, so I can't speak to it exactly. I don't know your address. I don't know the situation. There's a distinction between less than 2 acres and more than 2 acres. There was where's the facility and how close was the water, the tree to a lot of different things. So what I would say is Ken Cooper is here. He's my husband. He's worked faithfully all along. He's been still out every day helping people. He is out today doing more things. So he's here. Would you check with him? He'll know exactly your property, and we'll try to answer that question for you. But again, if there's a way, yes, but many of those trees, the volunteer said, we can't take the liability of cutting down that tree because of the way it's positioned. So I can't help you. I can't answer that question from here. But afterwards, let's look at your address, see what happened, and then see if we can help. That's the goal, is to try.
Mhm. Mhm.
Volunteers are supposed to be professional. Can I get some of that recouped?
So I can't promise you any reimbursement. So remember, volunteers are volunteers. And if they say that that's too precarious and we can't do it, we can't make them do it. It's what people do out of the goodwill of their heart. And so there's no obligation to reimburse you if you have to pay. A lot of people had to pay 1,000, 2,000 or more per tree for those precarious trees, and it's unfortunate. Trees was our biggest problem. So let's chat afterwards and see if we can't help you with a solution. That's all I can really say. Yes, sir.
I'll get on the same note. About a month and a half ago, we had a meeting where it was brought up the volume of mulch being created and what to do with it. We talked about possibly transporting that to people's properties, so we could throw it in the soil, rebuild soil and whatnot. We were told that a number would be provided to us later. As you know, has anybody come up with that information yet? I contacted Aviv on my own and they brought me 3 massive loads of mulch, so I'm very appreciative of it. But I've spoken with other neighbors that have said the same thing. They'd like to have something they can till into the soil. And all the pine needles and stuff are gone, so we don't want a windstorm and spring blow everything away. Some of this wood chips would really help out.
So we are, our volunteer army that we had, 150 volunteers and all the work that was done. I hope you can appreciate the amount of work that was really done. But the chipping, we do not have, that was not in the scope of our project. But this is gonna come up and speak in a minute. They just finished up here and he can speak to what can be done with the chip. I know they're hauling that, like I said to, earlier, we've heard to the Kettle Falls, waste energy plant or, no biomass plant, energy plant. But anyway, I agree, you know, if you want to get, we'll see what can be done. But it is a good idea to get some chip on the ground, but we did not have capacity to add that to our scope of work. The scope of work was to get the trees off your debris pile so that you get your testing and your debris removed. That was the goal. And that's the only focus that we had. You know, I'm sorry if it didn't meet your level of satisfaction, but a lot of work happened.
Is we're talking about volunteers and volunteers for free, then where'd the money go?
What money? The $40,000 that went for the, so that was for some logging operations because we could not get anybody, there were, logs that could be salvaged and they were too big for the volunteers to cut down. The trees were too big and they were too precarious. The loggers that were working the large pieces of property could not, hit their big equipment in there and it took, it was too much of a loss. We couldn't get any commercial logger to come in and address those small, less than 2 acres. So we asked to offset some costs because of the trucks, how long they had to sit there, like 4 times as long because it took so much longer to get the trees out and then the fuel, to haul that, salvage out. And so that was, what we did in an effort to get, those trees, that were too big for the volunteers to take down. And so, that was decided. The long-term recovery board, reviewed that, and knew that we couldn't move forward without, getting those big trees out. And there's the only way we could get anybody to do it. So, anyway, we can talk more about trees after Ken is here. I will be here. And we can talk about what's gonna happen in the spring, but any other questions for Inovia? Question online?
Another question online. They'd like to know if individuals can receive money directly from Inovia, and because I already know the answer, they want to know if the donators know that.
I'll let you answer that.
So in general, no, we don't make the grants directly to individuals, but we do support the individuals through the case management process. So in that case, through case management, it's going to be working with vendors who may be assisting with rebuilds or whatever needs to happen, those kinds of things. If it's gas cards, if it's utility hookups, if it's propane, all of those kinds of things, those are assistance pieces that are provided through vendors to the fire survivors.
Oh, go ahead.
One of the callers that ask whether the money's. I call you, said that it would be available. But what I'm understanding is right now, we're funding the money to the nonprofits who are then deciding it's going to uninsured first.
No, two different, and I see your point of confusion, and it is common, and it is confusing. So government money, we're trying to use that first because it's finite and it has a time limit on it. The money that came in from donors that went to Inovia and then to nonprofits, and even nonprofits that have been given money, like Reimagine Medical Lake is our local nonprofit. There is no criteria for being not insured or underinsured. Anybody can ask for help through the local nonprofit, and I'll probably have Jerry come up and speak to that a little bit. She also is working with that unmet needs group. They get together weekly, so that's Inovia, our local nonprofit, Salvation Army. They should be working their cases and bringing forth here's this family, they won't give your name. This is how they were situated before. Here's where they're at now. And here's the gap needs that we see. The beauty of that is there are other large nonprofit organizations that do disaster relief work that also listen in and attend those meetings. And so as those needs come forward, insured or not insured, the money that goes through a nonprofit, those decisions can be made. So just so you know, there's government money and then there's private dollars, and those private dollars do not have the restrictions on it that the government dollars do. I hope that's helpful. Okay. Thank you, Molly. And that was a great question. And it's one that you get so much information in a meeting like this, and if the answer doesn't address your specific need, sometimes it can get lost. So we'll just keep answering the same, and let you know how that works. So thank you so much. I'm going to talk about local immediate needs. I was going to have Jerry Johnson come up and just speak a little bit about what's happening with Reimagine Medical Lake. We still have, we're going to have West Plains Chamber after that. And then at the end, we'll do a little raffle of some things. And Salvation Army is meeting also in Jerry's building, so she can tell you all about that. Thank you, Jerry. Let's give her a hand.
So thank you guys all for coming. I know that as we visit with each one of you, that it is a lot of complex situations and a lot of big emotions that we've all been experiencing together. And that's the key. We're in this together. We talk about it, the long-term recovery, right? And so keep that in mind. We're in this for the long haul. And so when we talk about the unmet needs, myself and Mayor Cooper and Dave Peterson, and we're inviting others to join us. And then we'll listen to the case managers as you build your case. We want to know what your immediate needs are. And then because Reimagine Medical Lake has taken on that role, we have our own dollars that we have designated, and we will do our best to listen and be able to meet those needs as we're able to. When we talk about the volunteer work, I've always talked about how Medical Lake does it best, our volunteers. And over these last few months, I just see how strong we are together. And, I know that the amount of work that has to still be done, it's a huge mountain to climb, but I know that we can do this together. And so I just want to encourage each one of you. I know that, out in the hallway, we've got Christmas and the holidays are, pretty heavy right now, but we want to lighten that for you. And just the little things that we continue to try to do for you. We need to do that and share the things that you need. Maybe it's your neighbor. And maybe there's somebody that's not here. I try to say that each time, look around and see who isn't here. And we just can be a good neighbor for each other. So.
Yeah. That's good. Any questions for, Reimagine Medical Lake? I just want to, I want to thank, Reimagine Medical Lake. Just like the volunteers, they've done things they didn't have to do. They opened up a fire relief, fund, have added that to their long-term, community goal. They actually changed their bylaws and articles to create a disaster relief purpose that will go on as long as we need to have it. And if it's something else that's an emergent large need in the future, that's going to be there ready to go. So I really want to thank Reimagine, their little small core of people taking this on and faithfully here advocating and serving you. So thank you, Jerry. One other person I want to bring up is this. So we have Tom Hout here. We have also Colton Duncan. You can both come up here and tell us about the work that's been done by Avista. Again, tree removal, although that's not their business, so we understand that clearly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Colton Duncan. I got Tom here as well. He's one of our contractors that was boots on the ground during this recovery effort. So many of you probably have seen Tom. We've been around since the fire ended and through our operations through last week. So we have, till this point, removed around 6,000 tons of trees from burn sites. And have since turned that to mulch and are removing that from the area. So that is, it took us 2 months to do that. I know it wasn't exactly fast. It took us some time to do it because, as the mayor mentioned, this is unprecedented for us. We don't typically deal with tree removal like this before. So this is a big haul for us, and thanks for your patience. And if there are any other trees that you guys are seeing that are near our lines, we've done inspections, and all the hazard trees that are near our lines, we've taken care of. But if you see any that you're concerned about, you can call our customer service and put in a request. And then Tom, if you had anything to add.
Yes, I've been here since the fire was snuffed out, and just the devastation of the fire and things burnt, houses gone, and it was emotional. I would go home at night. I have a house, and I was so thankful, and I'm humbled by everyone that I've met has been so strong and willing to let us help, and just God bless you guys. So it's been a journey, and it's only a portion of what you guys have to deal with. Burned out trees near the power lines, they're gone. We cleaned them up. But you look around, there's forest and trees and stuff. It's just overwhelming. You have a question?
I said mine are still sitting there right next to the power lines.
If you, I'll come talk to you afterwards. We can address your specific issues.
What about the chip? They were asking about getting some of the mulch. Is that an option at all? This gentleman hasn't brought that up before.
Sure, I know I talked to you specifically about your specific case, and that was a unique case. Right now, this has been a massive undertaking for us, and we don't have the resources to start bringing trucks out and putting mulch on all the sites at this time. So that was a specific case for you.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. What I was asking though is that for those of us that do have the equipment, when we come to you guys, because you have a nice file, you use your loaders to load our equipment. I've got a 14K dump trailer. I can take loads to my neighbors. And then you guys don't have that liability because all you're doing is loading the kids off site.
Sure, I can absolutely ask the question. That wasn't part of our plans, but I can absolutely ask the question. Our loader's gone? Okay.
Actually, there is debris that the city has piled up. And you might be able to work out something with them, because that's all the debris from the volunteer groups and the city, and there's a big pile at the Bible camp. So I'm sure there's some debris to be spread around.
Is that chip, Tom? Is that?
Yes.
chip there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there was a question, young lady?
Thank you. When, down, they Silver Lake Lakers, okay? down
Yes.
there, are there gonna be any electrical poles put up anytime soon?
Well, the poles have all pretty much been replaced. Are you talking about service poles?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
poles for light and that down there, because, our builders can't start building or anything until there's some kind of electricity.
Yes, they are servicemen from Avista. And there's an 800 number for Avista. You just call that number, they send out a CPC, they're called.
Correct. If you call our customer service, our part of the deal is to hook you up to the grid and energize. Before that, there needs to be electricians that come out and actually hook up and actually do the service itself. But if you call our customer service line, our CPCs, our customer project coordinators can help walk you through the process, of what that needs to look like.
So we have to do that before our
Should do that.
architect or whoever can start building or anything, that would mean that we have to contact you first.
I can just speak to if you want power to your specific site. In order to get that service built, there's gonna be an electrician that needs to build that service, and then we energize that. I can't really speak to the process of what comes first and the whole. Yes, ma'am.
So they have to put a pole up with electricity,
Can I speak to that just quickly?
Except,
So you'll just need a power drop to your property to do that. Your builder knows how to do that. If you have a contractor, that's what they do. So as part of your permitting, they'll get electricity there, they understand. So talk to your builder. If they don't do it, then reach out to Avista. But we can get you more information about that, and we can get some electrician, a list of folks. Everything costs money, yeah, unfortunately. Yes, ma'am.
What she's saying is, very, very close to each other. The power poles are there, the lines are all down.
Yep.
And we want the architect, the contractors to come in and start building, we have to have power, for all Lakers and granite and all of it down there. And the lines were down last time I saw it.
I think they see the old lines that are down, don't know the new ones are up.
Are you talking about there's lines on the ground?
They're all the ground.
So those are telecom wires. Those are not Avista power. Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
No power lines.
Power lines are not up.
Okay, you're saying along Lakehurst, is that the specific street you're talking about?
Granite and granite.
Same
Okay.
thing with Lakeview Drive, there's no power out there, all the lines are, you said there were lines, well, okay, they're laying on my yard, but. Yeah, there's pole stuff, but there's nothing else.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll be here afterwards. I'd like to get your contact information, and I can take that back to our team to see what the specific issues are. I do want to point out that any lines that are on the ground, we cleaned up all power lines that were on the ground after the fire. There are telecom wires. I can't speak to Comcast and others and what their plan is for those, unfortunately. Yes, sir.
Make sure I understand you guys correctly about the chips. I think I saw Penn and Hill, I live on the west end of Southland, so.
Yes, sir.
So I'm pretty sure I saw Penn and Hill trucks again. If those are viable chips, rather than home and everything, we have property in our community.
Okay, my understanding is so Cannon Hill is also being contracted by the city. So my understanding is at this point, our operations are complete. So Cannon Hill's still in the area. I think that might be for city operations. So, again, I'm not sure if there's,
Contact the city and see.
yeah, the city might have a solution for you. Yes, sir.
I guess the question is, you guys didn't go down towards Granite Lake. You guys just stayed beside Medical Lake.
We focused on our service territory, on Silver Lake and then also on Clear Lake. So any infrastructure in our service territory that was impacted by the fire, that's what we focused on. Yeah, Inland Power has territory, just south of us.
So we call it.
There's a hand.
Yes, sir, the Cardinals hat.
Hey, you guys. Out here for a little bit, I'm chipping right now, I got 5 jobs, I gotta do this week, they're chipping, all press screen screens up, I feel like I can print this, where you're at.
All right.
Yes, sir, I'm back.
Cause we're getting our power energized, are we getting a break on that, so we wouldn't get out of the once, or just charging us full rate?
Full rate for the hookup itself. That's something, I know the hookup cost is, I believe it's $60, and that's something, that's a great question. I can advocate for that to see if we can get that completely taken off, so. Yeah. Yeah.
Your bill will take care of your power, help you temporary, and you'll be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Stan.
Any other questions?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, this, big hand again, thank you so much. Did above and beyond and more than we really could have ever asked of them, so thank you so much. So the only thing then, so now, West Plains Chamber, I'm gonna invite, Mark Losh to come up. This banner that you see in front of us, West Plains Chamber just had their annual gala, which had business owners from the West Plains as well as elected officials and others from the West Plains. And these are all the signatures from the people there who care about you. And it was a thank you to the firefighters, but I wanted to put this up here to show you that they appreciate you, they're thinking about you, and what are you pointing at? Oh, we're gonna have Reimagine Medical Lake come up again, Jerry. And we'll let the show begin. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much. I know that a banner doesn't make you feel better, but we had 340 people at our Best of the West Gala event on November 1st. And they all signed this. And the reason they did that was so you know that there's so many people out there that you're in their hearts and you're in their prayers. And none of this is easy. And I can't even fathom what you're going through. But everybody that's trying to help you is doing the best they can. And if it's not fitting what you need, reach out and ask for specific help from people like they're asking you to do. We had an auction at our Best of the West Gala event. It was planned very late. We wish it could have been bigger. But I have a check from that auction. Will you hold this? So this is one of 3 checks that's going to be coming. You're going to receive a check from DAA, the McConkey family, for $5,000 to Reimagine Medical Lake. Yeah, isn't that nice? Spokane Leadership will be bringing the check for $5,505 that they raised. And the chamber is giving you a check for $12,239.94. We wish it was more, but it was the best that we could do on a short-term notice. We have been involved and tried to help as much as we can. If you haven't seen us, I apologize for that, but we've been doing a lot behind the scenes and trying to help. And we will continue to do that forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So, you know, I always get all choked up. You know, if you haven't watched me on social media, the biggest thing that I have said is when the fire was burning, my phone started ringing. Text messages started, and it was friends like Mark, friends I didn't know I had, friends that you don't know that you have. Because all over the region, all over the country, people started saying, what do you need? How can I help? And I know that there's times that we're really frustrated. And, you know, I have said out of my own pocket, if I could give each one of you $25,000, I would, if I could. And not that money could replace everything that you have. But I know that you need money And it's friends like Mark and everybody in the West Plains Chamber that are coming together on your behalf. So thanks, West Plains Chamber, and I know that we're going to get through this together.
Yeah, so
Fun?
now we're gonna do a little fun thing. There are some drawings, break out your little tickets.
No, we're just drawing names.
Oh, the name is on
Just
there.
the name.
So, okay, great.
We're gonna do this.
All right, let's do it then. I don't think I missed anybody else that was.
And so we have the Lions Club, we're gonna draw one for, first one we're gonna do for
So what,
Quill.
so tell me who's doing what here, and I heard Lions Club, and I see quilts, and I hear
Yes.
cards, so who did what here?
So the quilts have been made by a group out of Reardon. And they have been quilting, and if you signed up for quilted Christmas stockings, same group. And they've been making them, they've had you on their minds again, since the fire started. They had to keep their hands busy and their hearts full. You've been on their minds. And so we're gonna just start drawing, and then the Lions Club here in Medical Lake, we're gonna alternate between quilt and for the gift cards, right? And so they're $100 gift cards, and so.
All right, here we go. Some fun stuff here. Oh. There's no name on that one.
Oh, there's no.
No name on that one. You know,
That didn't work.
one moment. The person who didn't write their name, you just won something. So let's go for ticket number 206-829.
Did you keep it?
2068, come on, guys. Right,
Yeah.
that's a quilt. Start off with the quilts. So now we're going to go to a card.
Yep.
You can choose the one you want.
Yep.
I think that's the plan.
Yep.
Name is it Jovita O? Jovita O? Yeah.
Hot dog.
Congratulations. Oh, we'll mix them up good here. Brian Schultz. Brian Schultz, that's for a quilt.
Come on down.
So the second one was for the gift card, this one is.
Yep. Now go back to the book.
Okay. So this is for a gift card. Janice, gift card for Janice.
Yep.
Congratulations. And back to a quilt. The quilt is for, is it, Free is the last name? Jan Free? Jan Free. All right, congratulations. Now we're gonna do a gift card for Terry Pepper. Welcome. Congratulations, Terry. Okay. She's coming now, maybe someone can meet her part way.
Yep.
Thank you. Back to a quilt then. Quilt for Kim No. And Kim. Congratulations, Kim. I think she's back here praying. Please let it be a quilt. Please let it be a quilt. Okay. Gift card. Rick, is it Lanigan? Rick Lanigan. All right, congratulations. It's almost like the Price is Right. Come on down. You're the next one. Okay, quilt. Kathy Spin. Kathy, congratulations, Kathy. All right, that was for a quilt. Back to a gift card. Barbara Shields. Congratulations, Barbara. That's great. There's a lot of tickets in here. Back to a quilt here. Doug Dodson. Congratulations, Doug. Those quilts are beautiful. They really are. Just exceptional. gift card for Joan Kruger. Quilt for Carmen Berg. Congratulations, Carmen.
So fun.
This is fun. Needed a little skit or something to go along with it, I don't know. Gift card, Rose Potter. Congratulations, Rose. Quilt, Connie. One name, Connie, there's gotta be only one of you here. Connie, come get your quilt. Congratulations. Super happy for you. The Connie, the one and only, capital C-O-N-N. Gift card, Jerry O. Jerry O. Gift card.
Jerry.
J-E-R-R-Y. Come on
Come
down.
get mine too.
Yeah, come get your gift card.
Oh.
All right, we're looking for a quilt.
So I get the other one.
Looking for a quilt for Mary Staten. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Mary. Mary's gonna pick a quilt, and then we have a gift card for Destiny Valise. Okay, congratulations, Destiny. Okay, we have another quilt here. We'll wait till Mary really gets so much more. Okay. I don't want any arm wrestling up here. Vicky Mack for a quilt. Congratulations, Vicky. Okay. We're gonna go now for a gift card. Cindy Alpine. Cindy, congratulations, Cindy. Nice. Quilt, this goes to Jerry Long. Jerry Long, congratulations, Jerry. Quilt for Jerry, yay. And then we have a gift card for Rick Baird. Rick Baird. We might be related, that was my grandma's name. Okay, quilt. Glenda Schulten. Congratulations, Glenda. Yay. Okay. Only one name, gift card, Missy. M-I-S-S-I-E, must be the only one. Missy, gift card. Is Missy still here?
Is that your Missy? Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's your Missy. Come on down and get her card, gift card. Okay, then we have a okay, quilt goes to Flo Van Dorn. Congratulations, Flo. Yay. Gift card. Colleen Anderson. Colleen Anderson. A lot of gifts. This is awesome. Kay's down there, the sweat beads are rolling off her head. Please, God, let it be a quilt, let it be a quilt, come on. Okay. Okay, so we have back to a gift card. Mary, is it Kaneko?
Yes.
Yes, good job, Mary. Mary, do we have Mary here?
Yep, she's coming down.
Oh, there she is. Came and helped us volunteer with tree removal one day. Thank you, Mary.
Yep.
Quilt, Bobby D'Amato. Congratulations, Bobby. Freeman Drive, taking one home for Freeman Drive. Gift card. Wendy Schultz.
Yay.
Congratulations, Wendy. Oh, that's awesome. That's the lucky row. If you're going to the casino tonight, go sit in those chairs and then. Quilt, then to Nicole Aguilar. All right, congratulations, Nicole. To keep you warm. Gift card. Riley, is it, Mengarel? Congratulations, Riley. Okay, we have quilts coming up. Sarah Beckman. Congratulations. Okay, we are now coming back to a gift card. Mike Hogan. Gift card. Congratulations, Mike. Quilt. Patrick Anderson. There's a quilt. Congratulations, Patrick. Handmade with Love quilts. Gift card, Serene Beckman. What are you taking it home tonight?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Back to a quilt.
All right, 2 left.
Connie Baird. Get a quilt. Congratulations, Connie. Woohoo! Come on down. Nobody's ran down the aisle screaming at the art there. Come on. Yeah, I tell you, if you win, you better. You have to make a whole loop though. And we're on a card or a quilt? Card. Card goes to Renee Daniels. Renee, congratulations, Renee. Oh, we have this one quilt and one.
No, there's pillowcase.
Oh, some pillowcase. Okay. Yeah, pillowcase. We've got, yeah, so we got a quilt.
3 things left.
3 things left, so we're coming down, drum roll please. Quilt for Laurel Larson. Good job, Laurel. Congrats. Thank you, Kay. Gift card.
Yep.
Gift card to Debbie, is it Maze?
Yep.
Yeah, Debbie. That's also the corner up there, just saying.
Nice, all right, last one.
Are they one batch?
Yeah.
Okay, pillowcases. Sandra. Good job, Sandra. Thank you, everybody. Thank you
Okay.
to the ladies.
Yes, and thank you. And so, please, if you have signed up for stockings and Christmas tree, you can go outside. We have those labeled, I hope. I think we did it okay, but please be patient. And then, we want you to go outside also, and you can choose ornaments. And we have junior ROTC to help you out to your car. And we're excited about all that we have for you.
Okay, thank you for sitting for this long meeting. Thanks for coming. God bless. Have a Merry Christmas. And we'll see you in January for sure. Be sure you reach out if you need help with anything. So.